we are live. We are back at it. After some commercial breaks with Don Cherry. He paid for that advertisement. So, yeah, alrighty. So, back to the Cleveland Monsters.
Apparently, yeah, we gotta do it again because Ozip really wants us to rip on him.
No, it's more like I had to support my teammates, guys, you know. Let's talk about Woody. What do you guys think about him? He was in the AHL in Season 11. Season 12, he comes in NHL captain. Doesn't go exactly 100% the way that I would imagine he wanted to have. And now he's back in the AHL again this season as a player. He averages about 2 points per game. What do you guys think? Is he going to be a significant impact in?
I think so. As long as he's got someone he can play with that, you know, they mesh well together. He's always been a solid player, in my opinion.
So, after Woody's also Allen. Allen's been a player that has been around for a little bit. He's a known player. So, what do you guys think about him?
Well, he's definitely been around for a while.
I honestly don't even know.
You don't know? Okay, well, maybe he isn't as known as he is.
What do I know, though? I was blacklisted for a season and a half or two, so I missed out, you know?
Yeah. 1 second. I'm checking something really fast.
Check. 1-1. 2-2.
Okay, cool. Now you guys read. No, I don't think before I was reading you guys. But yeah, so definitely Woody's probably gonna end up being their starting left winger. What do you guys see for goalies? What do you guys know about Jays and Dat Pick?
I know Dat Pick. I've played a little bit with him here and there when he kind of first started out trying to get into the leagues. He's a good goalie. He's positional and all that kind of shit, and he's kind of funny on the mic too. He's good for a laugh.
Yeah, I've heard that WMB is going to be splitting time between the pipes for the two of them, so we'll see how that plays out for him.
What is there any big questions for this team?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
me? What? Why am I the big question, sir? Let me ask you why.
I'm just kidding. Because you're hosting, that's all.
Because I'm hosting. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You'll all be getting fines from the PA for player tampering after this is over.
Good thing I was smart and left some money.
Alrighty, so we'll do what you guys want and move on to the Griffins. Led by John Pins and Hydro. They got Ozenby, Brandon Sniper, and obviously their big contract, Alex, is, I'm guessing how you pronounce that. They have $4 million left and they have 10 players. It definitely looks like they're going to be trying to get somebody in free agency.
Yeah, that could be up to play. They got a good D-man too in Curtis. I was hoping he would slip through because no one knew he was back. I guess he was idle for a season. He was NHL eligible. Slipped through all that, and it was a couple days into the drafting, early bidding too, before he had a bid on him. Thought he could get him for cheap, but they got a good deal on him.
Oh, but you know, once people start bidding on a player, somebody assumes that somebody else knows that he's active. So it's like,
Yep.
That's when the bidding starts going up.
Well,
What do you think about Bullet's contract?
I think Pens knew about Curtis because Pens and Curtis are good buddies on PSN.
There you go. It's all about who you know.
Well, what do you think of Bullet? He's $3 million. He's, I'm guessing, going to be their goalie. And hopefully their starting goalie at that contract. Because with him, Alex, it's a pretty hefty amount for an AHL team to take up that much calorie space.
Oh, I can't wait to get to Utica.
Oh, yeah.
No other comments?
No, good luck to them this season. Should be good.
Atlantic Division, so I guess we'll see how that works out for them. On to the Wolfpack. RW Spencer and Chips and Whips.
Chips and whips.
They got T-Bod, a good buddy. It's pretty cool.
Oh, T-Bod.
They got Carter _11 C. He had pretty decent stats in season 12 and at the NHL level. And he was able to slip through for a .25 mil. That could be definitely
nice.
a big player for him.
Anyone at that price that can produce is key. It's always nice to have.
Let's see, they also got Eggman and they got Ty. Well, Ty, if that's how you pronounce it.
And the infamous Spud the Scrub.
And they have exactly 0 calorie space left.
0 calories.
So,
That's unfortunate.
Question: do we think they're gonna use an ELC on Devils?
Why?
Yeah.
I just thought that.
but
I know
even then,
that
that's only
Devils played with
.75
Dodd
that they.
and someone else on the Rangers last year.
I don't know, man. It still gives them very tight cat space. I don't want to focus on what could be happening at the NHL level too much, you know, because that's not what we're focusing on here. But at the same time, you know,
Yep.
it does impact the AHL with ELCs. So
Let's
I
just
don't
hope
see how it
they're
helps them out.
good and they obey the rules.
To me, that's just more negative. 'Cause
You listening, Spencer? I wonder who's going to be starting goalie. Chicks and Whips or T-Bod?
I'm gonna put my money on Chicks and Whips.
I got my bets on T-Bot.
I'm thinking 50-50. Once T-Bod gets a box of wine in him, man, there's nothing he can't stop.
Well, on to the Hershey Bears. Another team in the Metropolitan Division, led by Too Much Skills and the Crazy Clown. I don't know, I think, was the Crazy Clown PHL owner last year? Last season?
I don't
I
think
think
so.
it's a different Crazy Clown.
Yeah, I think there was Extreme Clown was the
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
yeah.
So they got Steel City's fan. Went for a little bit. They got Kira. And they got G.I. Bray. They got...
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with many of them, to be honest with you.
Well, Krill is I think he played in the NHL for a little bit.
Yeah, he did, and so did Cowboy.
And Steel City used
Got
to
some
play in
experience
the NHL.
That could be helpful then.
Yeah, well, Krill in season 11, which would have been NHL 16, if, NHL 16.
Yep.
So he had 33 games played and 70 points. So, you know, a pretty good amount, just above 2 points per a game. The question is, will that translate into NHL 17 or not? And he didn't play WC this year, but last year he was able to get 3 points per game in addition, so there's a little bit of stats. When he was in the NHL, he was the owner also.
So they do have some experience, and that's nice.
Well, it just depends, I think, on what Krill is going to end up playing, whether he's going to be playing as a forward or as a goalie.
Well,
And they have a healthy 2.25 mil left. 8 calorie space, as you'd say.
yeah, apparently 2.25 million left in calorie space is extremely good this year in the AHL. I don't know what HL captains are planning on doing with no calorie space. So we'll move on to the Iowa Wild, where Trump Clan is with its galley. They got Murloc Depth, really good goalie signing there, getting Murloc. He's really good, really good goalie. Can't stress that enough. He's pretty good. They also have No Blood.
Oh, they got King Blood. That guy's quite hilarious. He's good shit. He's funny as hell on mic. He's got his own tribute video. Have you seen that? It's legendary.
I haven't seen it.
So they have 4.75 mil, which is like half of their calorie space at the rate of other AHL teams.
It's hard to say.
They only really have one standout contract with is Stoner Boy. So
Yeah, they went a little bit on Murloc, but yeah, mostly all on Stoner.
yeah.
Well, the thing with Murloc is, I know on his gamer profile it shows he's only available on Wednesdays, so you never know exactly.
That's actually accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's odd because there was the glitch recently in the system which set a lot of people's availability to nothing.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
you never know. But players are able to update their availability on their gamer profile during when it's not a league night. So you never know. You can always just keep an eye on his availability and see, you know, what's going on with that. Maybe he'll update it. Maybe he won't.
But if he ends up playing, I mean, they're gonna be set in net. So
Yeah, if Murloc plays, the Wild are really set with No Blood playing forward, Murloc and net. It's gonna definitely be one of the tougher teams to play against in Central Division. I would be scared to go against Murloc pretty much.
Like a challenge.
Next up, we have the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Also with another pretty good goaltender from previous years, Chrome US Air Force. Wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to get that out, but pretty much Chrome. They also have Untouchable, who's a pretty good forward if I remember from the past. Looks like they did an alright job in bidding, didn't go too deep into anybody but maybe Chelios.
I think they'll be a nice challenge in the Metropolitan Division.
Yeah. They have 2.5 mil left.
picking up a guy like Chelios is always good to have on the back end. You know, he's
solid.
Definitely to support
he's
Chrome.
one, yeah, and he's more of a. He has games where he's more of an offensive defenseman, but I mean he's gonna hold it down for them back there.
What do you think? Do you think they're a guaranteed playoff team, or do you think, you know, they could, if they make the wrong moves, go down the other side?
It's hard to say guaranteed playoff, but I definitely think playoff bound if everything works well for them. They got a solid lineup, so
Gotcha.
should be good.
All right.
And they got Robbie. Robbie's fun shit.
On to the Manitoba Moods, led by Sports Geek.
Ah. Here we go.
Alrighty, so they got Hell's Elite, they got ELB Commish, Top Gun, Fits Back, Chaos Rider. Right of kind of no names, and he did pay the price on a couple of those guys, so. And he has 0.5 mil left in cap space with 11 player signs.
No, just kidding. I think he got a good pickup in Commish. He's a solid guy all around. He knows a lot about leagues. He's just key. I think he's always there if you need assistance in anything too. He's a good guy.
Yeah, Chaos is also a guy who used to be a VG NHL owner.
Yeah. You want to comment maybe what your plans are for some of your guys, like where you're going to play them, or how you feel like they're performing so far in your preseason games?
Played one team in a preseason game and played a lot of club games. Club games, we've been looking good. And yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to be a good contending team this season.
Do you think you guys are going to be able to build chemistry quickly, or do you think it's going to be a struggle to have your players get along with each other?
As of right now, it looks like we're gonna everyone's gonna get along. But we will see.
I know a couple of players on your roster can at some point become a character, so guess good luck with that. And your hope you don't get any fines also.
So do I.
On to the Lucky Admirals, read by Spike King. That's some interesting names. Bub would be drunk. He was in the NHL last year, and
Yeah, it's a good buddy of mine.
he also has Devil Price Ford, Senwin. Probably maybe one of the more underrated pickups is Jay Felk. Very surprised on how well he's been doing in games that I've seen him in. Oh, what's his stats in the VHL?
Who that, Jay?
Nope, yeah. Never mind. Let's not look. He didn't play in the PHL, so he's a guy that jumped up to the AHL this season. So yeah, he's definitely looks like he'll be leading this team offensively with Bubba on the back end, as long as they have some solid goaltending. You know, it looks like they have definitely a strong chance to contend for a top space in the Central. What do you guys think about this squad?
I missed my chance to bid it up and fuck that one up.
What do you guys think?
Oh, he's a steal, I think. I don't really know a lot of the guys. The only one I really know is Bubba, and they got a solid pickup in him for 500K.
Yeah, he is a pretty solid pickup at 500K. Yeah.
He's been around the league too. He knows.
Yeah, it gives him some experience. Yeah. Same with Devil's Spray. He's another guy who's, you know, he's seen teams that are good and he's seen teams that aren't as good. So, you know, he kind of gives him a good support if the team ever goes sideways. He can kind of turn on to some of his experienced players.
Yeah, and Sinwin's one of the D-men. He had a little bit of NHL experience, so that could help them, you know, especially if they're trying to make a playoff run.
On to a pretty interesting team. You have the Ontario Reign, led by Kid Money and Reaper. They were very, very good in Chicago last season as a pair. I'm guessing they continue to produce this season. They only have 2-5 left in cap space, and they have only 10 players on their roster. But with the players they have on the roster, they're looking very solid. They have Prodigy, Champ, Dead Ant, Orin, Rondos, which you can make speculations on. He went for a lot last year, and people said he wasn't really worth his contract, and he went for a little bit this year also. So I don't know, maybe they saw more in him than they did last year. And also on the roster they have Crid and El Rookie. El Rookie, he's from the NHL. He's on St. Louis Blues. He's pretty much good at every single position, so definitely a dangerous player to have on your team, and for him to only go for 1.25 is very interesting to me.
Yeah, that's nice. I wish I knew that beforehand.
Dead Ant also only going at 0.75 is interesting also, depending on his availability. You know, this team looks very dangerous considering how well this pair did last year, and definitely they have the potential for some offense, and as long as the defense can hold it up, they are definitely going to be contending for that top spot in the Pacific Division.
It should be fun games against them. I know James.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of games at the DG Club League with him, and he was fun to play with.
Any other comments on this roster, other than another team that yet again doesn't have very much cap space?
God, their calories are hurting.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a very good team, and I think they're going to be hard to play against.
Well, Champ's another good player out there to have.
Yeah, that's all what I see when I look at the roster. It's like, man, he's pretty decent. The only kind of player that I don't know that much about is Heather LB123 and one for 2.5 mil. I'm guessing somebody else probably could say more about. So I'm guessing AHL only contract, either just new to league or played in the PHL last year. So we'll see how it works out for him. Definitely the defense seems to me be their biggest question, but then again, maybe they're trying to be a more offensive team.
Yeah, I saw Heather in the PHL a little bit. She's pretty solid. She'll have her moments on D, but
So we'll move on to the Bruins. Another kind of filled with some familiar names. You have Andretti. Is that how you pronounce his name? Andretti?
Andrade K. Just call him Dick.
Oh, okay. And then you have Jason. And they have some standout names. Woogie, Captain Power.
Don't say standout and start with Woogie. Don't do that. Love the guy, but don't do that.
Okay. Well, when I mean standout, I mean when you look at the roster, you see, you recognize the name.
They do have some good players. Gator Dynasty is solid. I will say, Boogie, he's a good guy. He's a solid winger too. He's all
They have 2 million cap
sour
too.
that I didn't pick him up. So McDizzle, they got some good players. But I felt as if during bidding that the Providence Bruins management didn't have a sweet fucking idea what they were doing. They were just bidding on random players. Because would get random bids on my players from the Bruins. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I don't know how tough the Atlantic division will be for them, but
I can't wait to play him game 1 tonight.
yeah, it looks like to me this team will be pushing for a wild card spot.
Yeah. They got some good players.
I don't see them being able to really compete for a divisional spot. What do you guys think?
No, we're gonna beat them. We're gonna squash them all season.
Really, you think all season?
really?
Yep.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna say
Interesting.
yep all season, but there are gonna be some good games I feel between us. That's for sure. You're gonna
Alrighty.
break your kneecaps, Woogie.
Well, then I guess we'll move on to Americans.
Oh no.
Alright, led by Plastic World and Marvel.
Hello.
To me, the first thing I look at the roster is 311. My guess is they'll be losing him as soon as he gets in his 20 games.
Nope.
That's my opinion. My guess is.
Well, me being the captain, I'm gonna say no. 'Cause me and Clutch have a good relationship. We've discussed the season. We've discussed our plans, and he's gonna be a key feature to our roster this season for sure.
Oh, if 311 does stay on this roster and doesn't get traded, because you never know, a valuable player like 311, he may get interest from other NHL teams. So.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah.
If he did stay on his roster, he's gonna pretty much lead their offense. If I'm pretty correct, do you want to kind of speculate on your team for a little bit?
I'm quite happy with how we did through bidding and the players we got. There's only one guy on the roster that is totally inactive, so that was a mistake, but shit happens, Anyway, for the most part, though, like I said, yeah, I know I'm pretty happy with what we got, with 311 going to be running left wing primarily, starting for us, and Blackhawk running center, and myself on the right wing. We've played a bunch of games already, and a bunch of sort of scrimmages against the NHL squad, and it's been.
Who's going to be playing net for you guys?
We're starting goalie is Fret. He underrated. Like, not too many people know him. I've known him. I've personally known him for the last couple of years in the NHL, and he's always been a really standout, solid goalie in my opinion. And True is our backup. A little questionable there. He's available all the time, but we'll right now we're gonna split them this week. We're just kind of trial and error this week and see how it works out, and we'll move on from there, kind of thing.
Do you feel like you are going to have enough defense in front of them to support them, or do you think you guys are going to be more reliant on your offensive?
I think we're
members?
equally balanced on the back end too. We have a couple players who can play both up and back, and on the back end they're phenomenal in my opinion. There's a couple guys that stand out real well that we got for dirt cheap. So I'm quite happy with how we did. So just interested to see how the games go tonight and see how we actually play against some other.
Have you been able to get some games in with your roster players and see how well they're keeping together?
Yeah, we've played a bunch of games actually since since the first few players got, finalized to the roster, we've started. So since last week, we've been playing a bunch. Most nights playing club games or scrimmages with our NHL team, which will be fun. So we got a good relation with that.
I'm guessing he's saying a good relationship with Clutch. I know Clutchy's a pretty cool guy, so yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have some good games, I think, between the two teams.
How far do you, where do you think you matched up in the Atlantic Division this season?
I don't want to say a shoe-in. I don't want to say we're not going to make it. I think we're going to be competitive. I think we're going to do just fine.
You think you're going to be somewhere in between, not top of the division, but not barely holding on to a wild card spot? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I like to be the underdog. I don't want to come in over cocky and all that kind of, we're going to make it. We're going all the way. No. We'll prove ourselves,
Alrighty, well, with that being said, we'll move on to the Ice Dogs.
And I think we have the Ice Dogs assistant in here.
Ice Dogs captain.
Captain, my bad.
Oh, let's see, so on your roster, you got a couple of interesting names. I'm not too familiar with them, but you definitely went in on a couple players. You want to speculate why you went to the amount you did on these players?
I mean, as many of you probably saw, the D market was pretty thin this year. So some of the prices are a little more inflated than we thought they would be. Some of the guys we got for a lot more than we were expecting, and some for a lot less. But I think, a guy like Razor, he's former NHL owner. He's going to be a solid guy on the back end. Braves, former NHL guy, plays in LG as well. He'll split time at forward and D. Derek, he was NHL captain for a little bit for Razor. He's going to be a good forward up there.
Do you think their chemistry is going to be able to match up in this season, or do you think they've been separated for that amount of time where they're, not going to be able to cope together?
Well, talking to them, they said that their styles are still pretty similar to what they used to be, so it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, it'll be a little bit of a learning curve playing with everybody else, but I mean that's to be expected.
So, do you think your team's going to kind of curve towards their style, or are you going for your own kind of unique style?
Other than a few key points, which I probably won't mention, we're just gonna let the players play. We're gonna have, as a management, things that we, kind of focus on and hound on the guys to consistently do. But other than that, just let them play, have fun, and hopefully at the end of the game come up with a W.
What's your biggest concern going into the season? You're in the Central Division. We've already seen a couple of solid teams in your division. Are you worried about the other teams, or are you guys just kind of focused on yourself right now?
I haven't really been paying too much attention to other teams. I mean, I don't really know a whole lot of the user base as much as I used to, so it's definitely gonna be a learning curve at first. We're just gonna play our game and hope for the best.
Alrighty then. Anybody else want to comment on the Rockford?
I look forward to playing you.
Alrighty. Well, then we'll move to San Antonio. Definitely an interesting assistant this year. Big boy QC. Big boy QC.
Big boy?
Big boy. So I played with him before, and he is with one of our old line mates, Big Joystick. So those two are pretty much from Iowa from last year. So they have some chemistry there. Let's see if I know anybody else on the roster. No, Dead Soul Rising will definitely be a tool for them to use. But
they got some good D-men.
Yeah.
That's one thing that stands out for me.
You think they may trade away with one of their D-men to get some more offensive power, since the D-men were so valuable this season so far?
possibility. It's hard to say.
Right?
I mean, if they're total lockdown, I wouldn't want to ship them if they work well together, both of them, you know. But at the same time, yeah, that is a lot for.
They are once again another team in the Central Division, so if the Central Division's one of the better divisions in the league, although they may have a solid defense, they also eventually have to score. And I'm not sure if Dead Soul's availability or, I haven't seen him play myself in a while, so I don't know exactly how well he's going to be able to match up
Hey man,
against
these
other
Frenchies,
teams.
they're crafty. There's a couple Frenchies on the team I see, so.
QC Goosepack. QC Goosepack.
Yeah, we play them tonight, game 2, so I'll let you know tomorrow how they are.
So we'll move on to the goals then. The goals aren't exactly the same team they were 2 seasons ago. So they do have some familiar names though. They have Apollo 77, definitely a really good defenseman to have. Ryan would be my guess is going to be their starting goaltender.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Who pretty solid there. Definitely JM Legit, I guess is how you pronounce his name. Is he from the PHL guys? You guys know anything about him?
I've never heard that name before. 3 million for him too, so they must have either. He must be well known that I just don't know, or they scouted him and he was stand out. So
I'm pretty sure he's good.
What are you pretty sure about?
I'm pretty sure he was. I'm not sure if he was an LG guy, because I know Poopin is an LG guy, so you might have known from there. So
it's another team with very little calorie space and
he played AHL
salary
PHL
space.
last season. It says he was 2 points per game.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting to see how.
Isn't it interesting? Yeah.
They're in the Pacific
Maybe he
Division.
plays well with some of the other guys that are on there.
Alright, well, on to San Jose. Are we going to San Jose? There we go. Captain is Dancing Tick. Definitely good to see him back at the captain's status. Definitely with the new roster, he has Edge on his lineup. I'm familiar with him. Seems like he's pretty much salary-wise, he's balanced his team very well. He does have a known goalie to me. For me, it's High Voltage. He's pretty decent. So
I will say Hawkeye, his assistant, is a fairly good goalie too.
yeah. So maybe maybe
I
that'll
wonder
be a
if they'll
trade
split both
asset.
of them, or yeah, that could be it too. Because I feel as if Hawkeye would be getting more games, or at least knowing him, he'd probably want more games.
Yeah.
the funny thing is that they have him, Voltage, and Rock. Rock's a good goalie too, and I mean.
Yeah, I noticed that during bidding. He went heavy on the goalies, like good goalies, and actually spent a fair amount of cap, not a lot of money, but a decent amount on decent goalies. So I
think
don't know.
he's going to be in the selling market to sell at least one of these goalies.
I'm pretty sure his words were he was preparing for tragedies. I think was what I read in the manager's chat, something along those lines. He was, I don't know what tragedies, or if he was trying to say strategies. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, who knows? He might pawn off one of them and try to get a good forward or a D-man or something. Yeah.
I think he's definitely got. Yeah. Don't give me any ideas.
Well, I don't really notice any familiar names, at least for me, that stand out offensively.
Edge is the only one that stands out for me.
Yeah.
Isn't the
Offense.
marker really good?
Who?
The marker?
The marker.
I don't know. They went for
1.7.
1.5, yeah.
Not sure.
What is the stats? Let's see. So last year he was on the Roadrunners. He averaged 2.3 points per game. Played 33 games. Season before that he was on the Calgary Flames. Had 70 games played there. So it looks like he had an availability drop there. So maybe that's an iffy question. If for him it will be his availability. You know, a guy who can only play 30 games a season. You know, even if they're the best player in the world, they're not going to be able to play their 2 games a week. You know, it doesn't do that much, you know, bidding a lot on them or making them the core of your team.
Yeah.
Because then you're only going to be pretty good for those 2 games. Well, I guess we'll see how it works out for Dan Steak. I hope he does well. On to the next team, the Thunderbirds, led by Olch and Pinball Lemons. Definitely one of the interesting players is Playmaker X7. He is definitely a player that I look forward to seeing how he does. Same with Fausty Frost. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he's a solid player.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that I think Spider's is, if that's the Spider I'm thinking of. He was on my LG team and he was a fairly solid forward too.
Another team with very low coverage space. Given this team does have 13 roster players, so they could easily maybe they trade. You know, I don't know how good Monkey is for goalie, but you know maybe he tries to work out deal trading. Maybe Playmaker or Frost for a goalie, because they could definitely do a 2-for-1 or work out some sort of deal. But they're very tight on the caps.
I looked at Monkey, and I know I saw he bought the boost pack, and he's an LG guy. I think he's LG CHL. But he had some good stats there, so I mean, we'll see if it translates.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. On to the Ice Caps. Led by Bubba, a familiar name around the league.
Bubba.
Also, another familiar name around the league, the Nightman. Was a
yeah, they got a steal on him.
Yeah.
I wish I was paying attention.
Anybody else know anybody on their roster that well?
I've played a bunch of games with Knowles. He's a good guy. He's a good winger. You know, productive. Playing with Bubba too. They've played a lot of games together. I personally have played a lot of games with Bubba, Embord, Beamar, Knowles, the Nightman. Like they've got a bunch of guys. So I look forward to playing them. I can't wait to shit all over them. I hope they're listening.
Well, it definitely seems like this is a trend in the AHL this year, which may be good for some newer captains. This is another team with only 0.5 mil left in cap space.
Yeah, bunch of dummies.
And only with closing in on the end of the teams list, you know, it's definitely been a big trend. It seems like going into the season.
Yeah, I'm curious now. I wonder how many teams have over 1 million or over 2 million left.
Yeah, because when...
And how many are under?
Definitely a handful. That's...
I think a lot are under.
So, well, is this the spider or monkey that you were talking about before?
Who, where, what?
On the Heat?
Stockton?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on here. Loading up.
So the
Spider.
Heat is led by Bullies. They have 3 mil and they have 10 players signed, so maybe they're a player that could take somebody from a team that doesn't have as much when they get a fine. They have looks like they wrapped up most of their cap space in 2 players, Jay Hickey and John McClain, however you want to pronounce that.
Yeah, they're gunning.
So, how much you guys know about these players? Because, you know, it seems like his roster is going to be riding on these 2 guys.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Honestly, I know Goat.
Let's see if they got any stats on him.
And he was a solid. Goat Neal was a solid D-man in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
for
he was.
1.2, he came up to a couple of my camps, and I liked him. Didn't put a bid on him, but I I liked him. I kind of wish I did now that I see what he went for, you know.
So J.E. went in the PHL in season 12. He played 40 games with the Wildcats and had 95 points, average 2.38, and then he got traded to the Remparts, played 13 games there and had 40 points, averaging 3 points per game. So if you're looking for a guy that can lead a team's offense, this definitely seems like it is this guy. For John, another player from the, well, he played a little bit in the AHL. He only played 10 games, though. He had 9 points. This looks like, yeah, this is the defenseman out of the bunch. He was plus 13 in the AHL last year, plus 23 in his 20 games played in the PHL.
Should be something to look forward to then, see how he does.
Yeah, it's a little bit of stress. I haven't heard that much about him, and he obviously went for quite a bit in bidding. And
that's just it. When you always see someone put that kind of money into someone that, you know, I don't know. I always want to see how they do, see if they're worth it.
There's always, he's a brand new owner to the AHL level, so there's always captains that go in on a lot of players that they know are good and nobody else may know. But there's also captains who do the complete opposite, and they think the player is really good, but then he starts getting matched up against other high-quality talent, as we've already seen. There's some teams that are a lot more stacked than this team, a lot more than just 2 players. We were playing a whole team of similar players versus just 2 players on that team. They're going to get outmatched, so it comes into the question of, are these 2 players as good as the other 6 players on the ice?
And can he make them better too, maybe?
Yeah.
If he can make the players around him better, well then, that's asking a lot.
Yeah. So it's that's definitely the big question for the Heat. Are these 2 contracts really worth it? That will be the question that we're going to be looking for the answer. Next up is the Crunch with Jackson and Rhythm MC. They got Dinosaur. They got Primetime Presh. Not that many people know about him. He's a pretty decent forward. They got quite a bit of cap drawn into another defenseman. Which 87? That's how you pronounce that. Let's see. So, did he play in the? Yes, he did. In the PHL, played 30 games, 59 points, 52 plus minus. Now, I don't know a lot about the team that he was on. Anybody know a lot about the Gladiators?
No. Not really.
Were they higher upper team in standings last year, or?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you either. Yeah, that's the wrong guy here.
Oh, well, it's just, you know, usually plus minus can be deceptive sometimes, because you can be the worst player on the ice and be on a fantastic team, and your plus minus will be the same as the player on your right.
I know all about the plus minus. It's a fucking love-hate.
So I guess we'll see what happened there. Another interesting signing on this team is Sky High. He's a player in LG, so I guess we'll see how he matches up at the VGAHL. On to the Stars. Led by String King. He has some experienced player with Get Her Done. He has Hillary Knight, which I remember it being a pretty good player. Am I right about that?
Yeah,
I
it's
recall.
also from LG. I don't know if you guys know this, but that's Clarkeskog.
Oh, that's who that is. That's okay. That makes more sense then. That could be problematic then with GoHawks and him.
Yeah.
Big time. I mean, I like String. He's a good guy. I don't know what you were thinking picking up GoHawks.
But yeah, so him and Captain Dope will looks like it's now a 2-man roster. Given I know Get Her Done a little bit. He's definitely a guy that if String King isn't taking over the team, that guy can definitely help lead the team to sets when they're not doing well. So if this team starts out rough, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. But if they don't pick it up by the middle of the season around the All-Star game, they're in trouble. They actually have some calorie space. They have 4.75, so maybe he's drinking, it's holding off. Maybe he's waiting to get somebody from another team.
He's probably got some plans up his sleeve.
Alrighty, so going on to the Marlies. Cuban is the captain of the Marlies. They have Croft 40, which I believe is a pretty good player.
Yeah, Croft was a good guy. Good solid forward.
Other than that, they have a 5-star Cook.
Tanger's a notable one too. He's a good guy. He's a good forward too. He knows what he's doing. Sully's a good D man. He was on my LG team for a bit.
Yeah, no,
5-star Cock. I don't know if I would go that high for him, but I didn't pick him up, so I didn't want him.
Jeez. Another team falling 0.25 million left in cap space.
And you know they probably would have lost that if 5-star went up one more. They would have went right for him, right to the wire.
Wow, definitely lots of money has already been invested in quite a few players. I really hope these guys turn out to be as good as they think they are. Because if not, the teams that got away with those deals are, it's going to be one very one-sided league.
They'll be laughing.
Alright, on to the Roadrunners, led by Redemption 0212. Definitely one of the better players on this team is going to be Now You're Dead. Surprised he only went for a 1.25.
Yeah, lots of bean pots went for.
Oh my goodness, another team
There's
with
a couple
only
guys that went for 2. Buzzman went for 3.
another team with only 0.25 million left in a 10-man roster.
So Opus is a good pickup for under $1 million, I'd say. Played a bunch of games with him too.
Yeah, he's a good forward and he plays right D as well.
That's where I played with him the most, was when he was playing defense. He's really good at D.
Yeah, I think Buzzman is going to be worth his 3 mil.
For Tucson's sake, let's hope so.
I don't know who it is, so I mean.
I don't either, but if he plays goalie too, and he's a good goalie, I don't know what they're.
Yeah, they don't have a goalie in a primary position.
That must be that must be the starting goalie then, you think, right? I don't know.
Does he have any stats, maybe?
I would love to click it and tell you, but it takes so freaking long.
No, let me see. He played. Yeah, but that's so long ago. He played goalie in season 11. He played 15 games. But other than season 12, he played 5 games as a goalie. So more. It looks like he's definitely was last year more of a defenseman. So if that goes in question, they're definitely going to be looking to get a goalie, and they don't have any calorie space. So they could be in deep trouble if they don't have a solid goalie soon. So they could be looking to trade one of these players. So if I'm captain and I have an extra goalie that has a good contract, I would consider trading it to the team because they definitely have some players that you could pick up. I expect you try to go for Now You Dead. To the comments.
The team of the season.
Like Mac and King, I'll kill you. Alright, you guys are kind of chirping away at this team. What do you guys think of them? They got Housefry. That's definitely a really good pickup at 0.25. Really surprised he didn't go for more. He's a really solid center.
I'm happy they got a couple of eggs in one basket there for Kush.
Yeah.
Versus a good center.
He's
a solid center.
Yeah. They also got Leadhead. He's a pretty good defenseman, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Leadhead's a good guy. He's a good player. Yeah. He's also good forward too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't justify ever thinking that's a logical price for one player when your cap is so little.
Yeah.
That's just me. But unless, I don't know. I hope he plays every
another team that only has 0.5 million left. But like I said, they do have Housefry. If I'm on the which team is it? The Americans. I'd be looking to get Housefly from them. Trade them with for a player that they're looking for, because Housefly has really good chemistry with 311. So I'm surprised the Americans didn't try to go on for Housefly.
Advanced insight.
Also, they have Steel/. I'm guessing him and Nitzmo will be flopping him between the goalies to see which one will do better. So maybe goaltender will be a question for them. So we'll move on to the Penguins, the last team. The Penguins is the French combo Marty Cheesy, and Wade Blake. Some of the highlights on this roster would be Crazy Try, Schizo, I know from LG and obviously being my captain last season. Caleb Protu, he's a really solid D-man. When you go into the lobby and you see him at D, you better definitely have the plan to play against him. Same with King 17 Kong, he's a very solid center. This team looks pretty dangerous. Anybody want to comment in?
A lot here.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you, Ozip, but I can hear everyone else just fine. For some reason. We'll finish this off for you. How about that?
Yeah. So, anybody want to comment in on this team?
There's a couple names that I recognize. Some of them that I don't have high regards. Well, I should say some of them. There's only one in there that I don't have high regards for, I think. But like I said earlier, for 250K, there's no one that's really a bad choice. You know, if you're just looking to fill a spot, and the guy can produce. But with him, he's also got attitude. So as long as attitude stays out of the way,
yeah. They also have Jay Dizzle on this team, which is also a pretty good pickup for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely going to be interesting to see how he works out.
As long as the secondary players don't try to steal the show from the primary players and don't get the egos and attitudes and all that kind of shit in the way, you know, every team will be fine.
Yeah. Big question will be Achi, how much will he be playing with 3.5? But other than that, then I think this team definitely seems like it's gonna be fighting for that top spot in the Metropolitan Division.
Should be fun.
Yep. You guys want to take a second and talk about the possible top players for this year's season?
Ooh, top players. Ozip.
I don't think it's gonna be Ozip.
Well, it's definitely not going to be a sleep tech. I hope you're still listening.
I think probably Hillary Knight / Carcass Cog could be up there. I think if Push can work with his team also, I think he'll be up there.
Kush, yeah,
probably a couple San Antonio guys.
I'll let you know tomorrow how they are.
Yeah. I don't know as many players from that are coming up from the PHL. Who is there? Anybody other than Hillary Knight that is kind of standing out?
I don't want to be biased. There's like 3. I'm hoping he stands out, but you know there's a couple guys.
311 is definitely high on my list for a player that I'm thinking will be up there, possibly in the top 10 in points, depending on how many games he can play.
Seems like each team sort of has one or two. Well, I should say one guy at least that has potential to really stand out.
How about for goalies? Who do you guys think is possibly looking? Name me 3 goalies that you think are gonna be probably one of the more solid goalies in this year's HL.
That's a good question.
I think Pony's gonna be up there for sure. I mean, Vibe's got him.
He had a pretty good season in the PHL, right?
Yep. And then he translated that to the AHL as well, so.
Yeah.
And I think the Stars Maximus goalie, I think he'll be pretty solid.
Yep.
All right,
I mean, other than that, it's you know, picking the best Swiss cheese you can find.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, on this game, you're right. No matter how good a goalie is, they're not going to be consistent with this NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well then, we'll cap off the stream there. Sorry about the one disconnect and kind of what ended up being the middle of the stream. But, you know, puck drops in 2 hours, boys, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be going into your warm-ups, and wish everybody the best of luck in this year's VGAHL.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, you
Alright.
too.
Did we want to talk all about the podcasts for this season for the AHL?
We're hoping to do one. We're hoping to do them on Saturdays at 5. And if anyone wants to help, we need a second co-host.
Alrighty, so heard it here first for probably most of you. But if you're interested in joining us on the podcast, definitely hit that up. Also, we'll be looking to add on some more features. This is pretty much just a general glance at the league, you know, kind of just scoping it off. It's kind of hard to do predictions and reviews on players since no game has actually been played yet. Alright, well, we will cap it off there. Good luck to everybody
Beauty.
tonight.
Good luck.